Good morning, our great viewer. In the recent past, we've had conversations that are entirely entangled with what we call patriotism. And as such, we have come to realize that patriotism is such a social transformative tool if used rightly so. Now, in today's episode, we're coming to a journey that is collaging the different conversations we've had from the school, the secretariat, to the parents, not only that, to the teachers and to the communities where we have traversed as a program. I'm Andrew Chamagero Muntuawansi, and this program is powered by the National Secretariat for Patriotism Corps under the Presidency Office. Now, that said, let's have a look at the biggest conversations we had in the recent past from the schools, because it's from the schools that we're in position to aggregate the rightful generation, the rightful leadership, and the right mindset for the future. Let's have a look.
I've learned a lot from these activities, like self-defense, discipline, because here basically, this activity is basically based on discipline. And I've also made new friends from these activities. Like when they say patriot, you say I serve Uganda, I sacrifice for Uganda, I'm loyal to Uganda. All those sayings have helped me improve on my confidence, on my loyalty to my country. That's why I love Uganda.
I know that if I get out there, I'll try to sensitize people about what all patriotism is all about and how they can be good patriots in future.
And I've learned that when you're doing something, you have to be passionate. You love what you're doing and you love your country. Do with all your heart and be happy while doing it. You will accomplish what you want.
Being a patriot is so good. So join patriotism and love your country as you love yourself, for God and my country.
These are young people. We teach them national service, loving their country, enjoying to know that they can live in this country, much as it has a lot of challenges. These challenges can only be tackled by us, but not by anyone else. This is a country that is supposed to be served, sacrificed for, embraced and nurtured by us. There is no foreigner that is going to come and have the love that we have for this country the way we should have it. So it is here that we try to redefine the picture of us as Africans and as Ugandans in particular. So these young people are encouraged to make sure that much as they are in school, they should study, knowing that they are studying to transform this country, to make it a better place to live for the generations that will come.
And it has shown me that in this Uganda we have many opportunities to do very many different things that lead us far. It's because we have not yet seen them or we have not yet discovered them that we don't know them yet. These patriotism activities help us to love Uganda more. Because when someone loves something, they dedicate themselves to serve it, they dedicate themselves to take care of it and ensure that it moves forward or something. So we will get to know the right leaders to choose in future so that Uganda can move forward, Uganda can develop in all ways, so that corruption, such things can reduce. And I believe that I'm a patriot. I love Uganda, I serve Uganda, I sacrifice for Uganda, I am loyal to Uganda, and I love myself.
I'm actually willing to sacrifice everything I have for my country, like literally anything. So that's why I gave time to the 5 days they have given us to practice, and I put in a lot. In fact, if you put in a lot, you learn a lot, and it's very fun if you get to know it better. So I would advise everybody out there, they should be patriotic and love their country, serve it, be loyal to it and love themselves.
If you plant trees around, you're being a patriot, because if you save these trees, if you plant these trees around us and it helps our environment to be green, it will help in rain formation, which will help Uganda. That means you're loving Uganda.
You can love Uganda, but then you see another country is much more better. But if you love it, you obviously work hard to better the country.
Before patriotism came about, I did not have this love for the country, but after this, I love my country. I want to build my country and to encourage people to build our country. Let's do this together. It's a beautiful thing. Our country is beautiful and the people in our country are beautiful too. It has taught me a lot of things: the commitment, the love for God, the endurance and the perseverance.
There was discipline. It's a must. In all aspects of life, there is discipline. You have to be disciplined in order to work with your neighbors and in order to listen and do what you're told to do and to achieve what you want. And personally, was that the country matters. Yes, there's going to be the president, there's going to be the leaders, there's going to be the RDCs and whatsoever, but it starts with one person. And that one person is me, that one person can be you, that one person can be anyone. So if there is no one, then there is no country, there is no Uganda. So patriotism has also taught me as a leader to be more determined and focus on what the goal is and love it, then involve everyone. And despite all the obstacles, you have to keep on pushing because you have a goal at the end and you're determined to achieve it because you love it.
Through the patriotism training, I've been taught how to be a person who thinks and does not involve my feelings when I'm making decisions, because when you involve your feelings, as they taught us, you really make mistakes. And I would very much like to be part of people who are fighting corruption, people who are emphasizing patriotism in schools, like those people who have been training us. I would like to be part of those people so that I keep the patriotism spirit moving. I don't want it to stop at me.
All fellow students out there, everyone in different schools, in your different sectors, you should really join this program. Patriotism is the best. We are really taught a lot. Time management, we are taught how to march. It really looks good. I am sure you witnessed that. It looks good. The marching, the drills we are taught in the field, we are really taught how to be physically fit. We do different exercises. We are taught the time management, the spirit of Uganda, the patriotism. What we need to be loyal to Uganda, to love our country. It's the main aim of this program. I'm looking at talking to my fellow students, sensitizing them, telling them how to be a good Ugandan, how to be patriotic, how to love your country, and all the core values that are taught to us: being loyal to Uganda, loving oneself, your country and others, being hardworking, the fear of God, of course, which everyone knows, the fear of God, which is really main. We're taught the time management, all those core values.
We had a campfire. I had the chance to see other people dancing from different cultures, because I personally am a proud Mukonzo from Kasese. So I had to see people dancing, Bagisu dancing, the Basoga, the Acholi. So it's really nice. It gets people to know each other, people to see different things in the society. Because when I sit back and look, I want to be an independent lady, someone fighting for righteousness in the society, fighting corruption, and being a voice for the voiceless. So patriotism, it helps me to have that spirit.
It's a mind-changing activity. I naturally had a negative attitude towards patriotism, and I used to say, I'm not proud of my country, like the vice versa, or the patriotism mottos and core values. I don't love my country, I don't serve Uganda, I don't respect Uganda. But for this, I'm surely changed.
To transform Uganda, I see that Uganda, we have a lot of resources and many tourists come and see our nature, the green, the lakes, the rivers. So like people come and tour the tourism sector, because Uganda is also the Pearl of Africa. People come from far, from Europe, other countries, and they come and they see the beauty of Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
I love Uganda. I serve Uganda. I sacrifice for Uganda. I'm loyal to Uganda. I love myself for God and my country.
I started loving my country, and now I'm like advocating or asking the government really to emphasize on that program and to involve. By the way, patriotism must be a must to every citizen in the country, because now people are doing different things like corruption, like torturing others because they have not undergone that training. You have to extend this program to the society, like teachers, because teachers are the ones who are grooming the future generation. If they teach everyone that program, I think the country will live at peace and all Ugandans will enjoy their country.
So it is a humble plea to the seniors of Uganda, as we are training, as you're training us, the young generation, let's us instill the patriotic measures as we are being exemplary. So fellow Ugandans, choose to love Uganda, irrespective of the age, irrespective of the level of education, irrespective of the status, irrespective of name it. Let's join hands as Ugandans to love and serve for God and my country.
I never knew anything. When I joined, I told the director that now I want to paint, I want to bake, because they told me they can bake. What they bake, they eat them. I thought, that is life. I said, okay, that's good. I started painting, I started baking. Now I know to bake chapat, I know to bake cake, and now I know to paint, liquid soap, I can do it, everything.
We have the pedi and manicure. We have makeup artists. As you have seen, we have hairdressers. So the first thing I would give you is to come and explore St. Lucia. That's my first message I'll give them. The second message I'll give to girls to abstain and stay in school, abstain sex, peer groups, and other things that will spoil your future.
I got to know about patriotism and being part of it in my second year at university. Going for the trainings personally, I got knowledge, I got enlightened about very many things, especially job creation, which has to be done by someone whose mindset keeps to be evolving always. And also the role of the youth in the socio-economic transformation of Uganda. So that knowledge inspired me to come back home and revive the projects that were not really doing well. Being part of patriotism and attending the patriotism camps, we were told that as youth, as university students, we too have a role to play in our country's development. By that, we are being patriotic to our country, in that if we, for instance, if I start up a project like this, if I run this, I'm contributing to the development of my community, I'm creating employment for fellow youth, and I'm also creating a source of livelihood to many other people I really don't know about. I was a person who was very much interested in things to do with environmental conservation. So that was the major morale for starting the tree project. I really feel now that I have a role to play as a person to the economic development of my country, socio-economic development of my country. Actually, there is an American president who once said that, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Wow, what a remarkable sentiments coming from the students. It's with this young generation that we have clarity of where we are headed as a country. But not only that, it's through them that we see the agenda of our country coming to light. So we come from the students, and this program went deep into the corporations, the national parastatals and enterprises that have the money, but again, they have the mandate to take this agenda down on the ground. A couple of them well confessed that before they had this kind of conversation, the mindset of their workers was a little bit sluggish. Did they get a mindset shift after the trainings? Let's have a look at the paradigm shift they got after this conversation with the patriotism training.
I think the training makes you even more patriotic and gets you to appreciate more, like Kana said, what we have as a country, and most importantly, our role as individuals, as leaders, and as institutions in making this country better. Usually we might not really appreciate that until you get to understand where the country has come from and some of the things that our teams have been able to appreciate and understand. We've been on this journey since October.
October 2021.
That's when 2021. That's when
Wow.
we had the first group of staff. These were basically, originally were new recruits that we had recruited, and this was the first time we thought that, okay, instead of doing the typical induction, so induct people, but as you induct them, they should really know what they're coming to do. They're coming to serve a nation. And you know, water is a very critical service. We always say water is life. So it's life not just for the individuals, but also for the what? For the country. So we've had a set of staff go through this experience from October. As of now, we've had over 923 staff. 923 staff. Quite a number. Yeah, it's quite a number. When you look at the corporation, we have a total of around 4,500 staff across the country. So Nashota is operating in over 262 towns across the country. So that's how national is.
And you plan to bring all of them here for this
training? The plan, we started with Kampala. Kampala, we have a workforce of around 1,400. So out of 1,400, already 923 have gone through this exercise.
They are qualified ambassadors?
They are qualified ambassadors. They are enhanced patriots for the country.
This training has really enabled me to manage my time well. I really take it very serious. I don't play with time. I make sure that I do everything on time. And it has really helped me to open my eyes to love my country, to dig deep and really make sure that I'm a good citizen who really knows her country and who does and works according to what would really be good for the country and for myself.
This training has been able to give me ideological clarity on patriotism and Pan-Africanism. Before coming for the training, it's a word I just heard about. You hear about it and you have a dictionary definition of it. The difference with this is that you then have a contextualized definition of what patriotism means to you as an individual and how it can help us transform our country. And that is what is key from this training.
I must say it is new, you know. We are angry as a nation, and probably justifiably, but we also have very little to work with. This training, when we got here, we were all very negative. It comes off as a punishment or something like that. But then eventually you start to learn, and you understand that you need to be objective with the decisions that you make, with the way you see things, with the way you choose to perceive what's going on in the country. Because they get you to appreciate what you had before, what you have now, and what you can do in the future. So I must say it's a little bit different, but it is very positive. And I think everybody should actually go through it, because then you get to understand the country. Well, an open mind, because your mind is your greatest friend or your greatest enemy. So we'll say mindset change, which may sound a little bit negative, but here it's actually very positive, because then you're being exposed utterly to everything. There is no shame. The country is in a certain state, and they're going to be open about it. But then they'll tell you what's being worked on. But an angry person will fail to see what is being worked on, because we choose to be angry. We need to fix us, to fix this country. Other than that, we're going to complain for the rest of our lives.
Wow, this training has already changed me. This is the best thing that has ever happened to us, or to me in particular. Sure. As far as my service in the corporation is concerned, I have added value in terms of knowledge, knowing Uganda more, and loving, being more patriotic and loving my country, Uganda, and loving to serve the service with a passion.
We are having talks with staff. For instance, we are saying, don't eat all your money. Don't eat all your money. Please, when you get your money, put it somewhere to generate another source of income for you to eat. Now, if somebody just gets all their money always and eats it, these values will fall on deaf ears, because the person is always struggling. But if you help them to, now on the financial side, you know you can earn 1 million, but that 1 million is actually not one. It's about 3 if you took a right approach. You can put it in a mobile money agency there, you can plant a garden at home, you can do so many other things. There are so many Ugandans that can work for you and put that money there. So we are saying you are a better employee if you save part of your money, reinvest it in something, then that thing will help you and your family to live a better life.
Now we're also saying, you know, there are things you can do. You can also help communities. You can participate in communities. You are a better employee who understands that, you know, when I'm working, I'm not only earning for my family, I'm earning for the rest of the society. My time can be contributed other than me going to a bar every evening. I can go maybe to a church and do clean up the church, or I can participate in a community road. I can join a Rotary Club. There are so many things you can do that are positively, that help us as URC. When you come to URC now to work, you look at things differently.
We have a shared value, a shared vision at the Ministry of Works and Transport. That vision, we try to cascade it down through meetings. We hold meetings every week. We are sure to tell our staff through different departments what is expected of them to do. So, end of the year, we also have a get-together. That one brings in teamwork.
What I've learned is that as I work for my own, I work, I get salary, I support my family, but also in the way I'm also impacting my country positively, because when I work as an engineer, if I make sure that the infrastructure we have in the railways is good, then it means we shall have more economical kind of growth, and so that brings growth to the country as well.
Wow.
So that I realized after this. Yeah. Okay, so from here I have to tell my colleagues, my family, friends, that it's not just about working for self-gain, but also working to make sure that you add value to the country. What do you add? Leave a legacy that is positive and that makes our country grow. And it's not about how much you earn, or it's not how much or what job you have, but it's about what can you do for yourself. Because when you do something for yourself, then it means at the end the country realizes that positive impact of what you've done.
Before this training, you know, we have had many problems there. You have heard of strikes.
Yeah.
Unions striking. They could not know how we are performing. For them, they just request for something. We want a rise. We want this one. They want the company to meet their demands, not knowing how much we are earning. The thing we have in this country is our thinking. Our mindset. People look at the country, that the country is the ruling party or his excelling, not knowing that the country is us. It is us, and this country is our home. It is us to make our country develop.
Actually, to me, I was wondering what I was coming to do.
You thought you knew it all?
Because when they talked of we are going to Kazi camp, I said, Ma, I'm already a police officer. Now what am I going to do? However, when they talked of leadership skills and patriotism, I said, wow, this is wonderful. I must go and find out what it takes. What I've learned here in this course is patriotism. And I myself have served 23 years. But I had never discovered myself that surely Uganda is a motherland, and I need to love it so passionately, deep love. I have realized it, that for sure, if we are to transform our country, one, patriotism is all about opening our eyes and our understanding to see, to know the problems affecting our country. Meaning ignorance had killed us. Now that my eyes have been opened, my understanding, I have to serve my country passionately, more deeper.
I didn't know what to expect, but I was excited because I had heard a lot about the word patriotism out in the media, out, from other people. And there's been a lot of here and there about what it actually means. Is it government related? Is it personally? Is it something to do with you personally? Is it about you loving your government or yourself or your country? And I had my own discussion or opinions on what patriotism was about. And I was looking forward to coming and getting more insight or to actually see and learn exactly what the version of the patriotism training is all about in this place. So I was quite excited about it. Actually, coming here has nothing to do at all with indoctrination or brainwashing per se. It's actually more about looking into yourself, looking more into your country, looking more into your society, your work, your environment, self-development, loving your country, seeing ways how you can develop yourself and your country, your society, and people around you. It has nothing to do with politics. It's just all about changing your mindset, changing how you think for a bigger picture in developing the country, loving the country, and finding ways to develop it.
UGANDA FIRST. UGANDA FIRST.
Has it ever baffled you what it takes to change a national mindset? Has it worried you as a countryman or as a citizen what kind of manpower, what kind of sacrifice you need to make? So from the corporations and the enterprise of the government, we went deep into the mentors, the tutors who make this patriotism agenda grounded right from the village level to the national level. We don't seem to have quite a lot of them because the budget is a little bit meager, but with the meager resources from the office of the presidency, these mentors have a remarkable conversation you and I need to put our eyes to and broaden our lenses of what it takes to be a tutor with a patriotism conversation.
In schools, we have patriotic clubs, and you know, once those youth understand and love their country, then the next generation will be better Ugandans. We give them the package, they appreciate, and so they come with that message, that package. When they go to universities, when they go into public service, they will serve Ugandans better than those who have not had an opportunity at this course. We are empowered so that we have a national service, so that every youth of this country undergoes this training. It's very important and very critical. Majority of our youth don't know their country. They don't know the rich endowment we have as a country. They don't know our history. They don't know where we have come from. They don't know where we are heading. But once they get this package, they will be able to appreciate Uganda as a country that we have come from afar, and we are heading in the right direction. Because they follow a lot of things. You are talking of the media. Our youth, they read about New York, about London, and they think that those cities were developed overnight.
Canadian prairies?
Yes. They think those cities were developed overnight. They want to have those magnificent streets in Kampala within a day. And yet those streets have been built over time. So if they're able to appreciate where we have come from and where we are heading, then they will know, yes, Uganda is developing as a country, because Uganda has had its own challenges.
You have commonly heard what they say, that the youth are useless. Is that true? No. We are changing the norm and the definition to say that the youth are useless. You are not useless, but we have used you less. So what patriotism is doing is to unearth the energy in you, the potential in you, the God-given talents each and every one of you embeds and carries around. Do you know who you are? Do we have a motto? For God and my country. Meaning that you must be selfless for this country. Go beyond yourself. So, number one role for you, the young people, in socio-economic transformation of this country is give yourself. Be patriotic. Give this country your energy, because young people, you are like wet cement. Everything that lands on you lasts forever. So this time we are choosing to land patriotism, to plant patriotism, to instill in you, inculcate in you values and norms of national importance.
Then you can sit in your university and think, what can I create that will add value to the development of Uganda? You are in a time when IT is high and you are very, very able to create these solutions. There are many apps which come up, and I know one of you can create an app that can make the whole world to know about these 52 craters in Uganda. Do you have any other country that has 52 crater lakes? Read and research more, and if you find that they are only in Uganda, then already I'm giving you a project that can bring you money either on YouTube or in the tourism world. So, when you hear concepts like socio-economic transformation, don't leave them in academics only. Translate them on the ground. What do they mean? Socio-economic. Social, you can find you are interacting with soldiers. That is social change for the better, because it used not to happen. When you see buses and trucks are moving throughout the night, that is economic transformation, because there used to be robbers on the way. What are they carrying? They are carrying food. That is economic transformation. What do they bring back? Mabati, cooking oil, soap, what? All of them made in Uganda. That is economic transformation. So those are the advantages that come with peace and security. And peace and security is an enabler for you.
If you are a religious person and you are a Christian, you have a square mile of land.
And they do.
And when drought comes and cows die, you may not go to heaven. Because in Genesis, God says, go and subdue the world.
You failed to subdue the land given to you.
So how will you go to heaven when cows are dying because of drought? And I invite them to come and see what I'm doing. 10 decimals.
300 cows.
I'm coming to
so there are 300 liters.
But you pay 40,000 to see what I'm doing.
We are going to pay. I'm going to come.
Because my intention is very simple. I want Mr. Kiamagere to learn to raise one cow, which can give him between 20 to 40 liters of milk.
Every day.
One cow. And our communities, once our communities learn to raise one cow, which can give him 40 liters or 20 liters of milk, I will have finished my work.
Check all those who are wealthy in the world. None found ready money.
They worked for it.
They worked for it. They tell you this man of McDonald, up to 67 years of age.
Yes, KFC.
Yes, he was a pauper. What happened?
He changed his mindset.
Changed his mindset. Come to this country, and this is things we must honestly address. That the young people are busy selling the properties the fathers have left to them.
They don't have theirs.
They don't have theirs.
That's
so
why.
They go drinking. Because money you have not worked for cannot be valued.
Because you don't know how to protect what you've not earned.
How? You have no sentiments attached to it.
That's true.
That's why the man sang, easy come, easy go.
Patriotism should be government-led, but must be nurtured by us.
From the grassroots. Yeah.
And therefore it comes and it develops us. From the beginning I talked about omwoyo gwegwanga ogutafa. Now the young people, when they told you in Uganda here, bajaja bakolanga bwebati. This and this and this means this. Once you have guided, it begins to nurture
itself.
From now where you have reached, there's nobody Chamagere who will come and tell you anything negative about Uganda.
I can.
You understand what I'm saying?
True.
So therefore, for me to love my country, I must be guided at a level that I should be guided. And then I nurture that. And then patriotism should be for not only the love, because I can love without meaning anything, but I must love my country. I must know that this country needs to develop from a certain level to another level. I must know that I'm living, but my children and my grandchildren. You say, that's why even here in Uganda they say abazukuru in jebujeyo mass. So we must now begin to think about patriotism without looking at political lenses, without whatever. Patriotism is about humanity. Is about how we develop ourselves and transcend from a certain level to a higher level. When we talk about patriotism in the country, we are talking about a higher level of human development, which we all desire, irrespective of who we are.
Singapore as a country that has been developed, emphasized about 5 principles that you must take home of how they developed their societies. Principle number 1, that you must work instead of talking. You should avoid getting things on silver plate. Students, think about hard work. Number 2, focus on achieving your target. By now you must have a vision. Go and think about what you can do. Thirdly, that you must have what we call discipline of action. Do things within the law. Don't go and steal and you think you have become rich. Talk about creating wealth when you have got in the right areas. That's how you develop your society. And the 4th one, that you should work as a team. Work in coalitions to become better people. And finally, you should have the divine intervention. That anything that you do, God must be there.
The whole message is train these young people about the patriotism program. So in schools we shall be there to see, to oversee the activities, to see whether the head teachers are compliant about the whole program. But I'm very happy to report to you that almost every secondary school now in Uganda is compliant on this program. They have the clubs, they are very active. The patrons are there. We have our structures in the districts. By the way, every district has a patriotism coordinator.
Okay.
They oversee these activities of patriotism
at the district level.
At the district level.
This program, as most of us are aware, started in 2010 effectively. We are now at 12 years. And the impact of the program actually has been great among our students. For example, the students who have passed through our program right now exhibit positive mindsets because we have alumni, and our alumni really are transformed people, and the impact actually is that their mindsets are changed, and this entails that their values are now positive, and they have positive attitudes towards themselves, towards the work, towards other people, and they are ready to serve and selflessly sacrifice for the country. So what we have seen actually is that because of changed, transformed values and attitudes, there is behavior change in behaviors, and this means that our alumni, those students who have passed through our program, can distinguish in their lives what is right and what is not right, and therefore they do that which is right. They can distinguish between desirable and what is not desirable. We should be looking at transformed values and attitudes, especially towards work. We Ugandans and other Africans are lazy people. We work for very few hours. In other areas of the world, people work for more than 20 hours. And they are working, and you have seen others who come here. They have a work ethic more than we do here. We should emphasize, time management. In Africa and Uganda, we don't see time as a huge resource. The others who are not Africans, for them time is money. the best resource. You know, the hours of sleep, we sleep too much. The hours of work, we should prolong them. We have the best and conducive weather conditions. We should utilize them to work more and more and get out of poverty. These are some of the values and attitudes we should emphasize so that we can see this transformation we are yearning for.
From the mentors, they are what we call our daily people. Omuntu wa wansi. The people, the ordinary Ugandan, the people at the bottom of the pyramid. Oftentimes, you and I don't find, remarkable time to talk to them. But their storyline seems to have taken a different direction after the conversation we had with Patriotism. Men like Kamba, how his storyline changed from a street goon and a thug to a transformative leader within his communities. And well, for Kamba, he actually says the change is singular and he's taken it upon himself. Not only him, even other remarkable community leaders we talked to in the recent past. Here is their story.
Twasooka ne tuzaala kubanga eri mu ghetto nsenzeko yavaayo ndabe ekiri en outside the ghetto ndabe engeri abantu gye beeyisaamu era finally nenzija nentuuka kati kyasooka ne kinyigamu inside the body kuba nali twali tumanyidde kuba nze kuva myaka meka 8 7 nga kiri musa era takisooka nezikuba nga tobiraba nako kuba omubiri ogumanyi gubadde gumanyidde okeera kumakya you sleep nobulira nga wena you're comfortable naye nebaza Katonda pulira kati enkyukakyuka kuba maze ebbanga ddene nga naku 6 zonna kiba kitegeeza I can live without them. Kyonjiza ebintu bingi kuba at first mbadde siwuliranko ku bintu mbadde sirabanga nako ku ngeri ku bantu abatali mu ghetto engeri gye beeyisaamu naye nebaza Katonda kubange nebadde nga golden chance. It was a golden chance on my side kuba mbadde bino sibifunanko era njize omuntu citizen engeri gyalina okweyisaamu mu ggwanga lye era kati am a patriot. I thank God wange eri mu ghetto tumira abaana ba ghetto eyo wena gye muli kuba nze manye engeri gye tuyitamu ensi gye tutwalamu bitukuba wadde bitukuba naye kati njize kuba message nina nyingi kuba ekisookera ddala engeri gye twabadde tweyisaamu ebadde mbi nnyo kuba nkitegedde kati era nsaba gavumenti yamba abavubuka bannanga abali eyo abaana abato kubanga abaana abo atandika okunoneka kuva ku myaka 4 atandika oyiga embeera embi kuba naye manyi eb'ensi bagibada bubbi twagwamu mugwi omusajja. Nsaba gavumenti eno waddeyo gyemba mu ghetto kizibu nnyo tuukayo naye njasobola okuŋŋaanya abavubuka bensobodde okuŋŋaanya omwomu okuba okuŋŋaanya essaaganda bulaza kizibu kuŋŋaanya omwomu n'omuliramu nga wekiri. Nsaba gavumenti eteekemu amaanyi mu zino ensonga era nebaza nnyo chairman w'abavubuka mu Kampala mwebaliza ddala kanakakisa kubanga eri tewandibadde muntu yenna yenna avaayo naye okumpa akakisa era nali mmanyi atwala bali bokka abaasoma oba abatali nga ffe naye mwebaliza ddala okumpa akakisa okujja.
Kuva obuto bwange manyi ebintu bingi bye tuyiseemu nga ffe abaana b'ekatwe kuba eno eghetto esinga okumanyibwa nanywanga omwenge nafuwanga enjaga nga mba siginywedde n'otulo tumbula twakubanga abantu nga ffe tumanyi twagala kubeera bakanyama ku kyalo nga twefuula bakitalo.
Abaatuuka mu siniya ey'okutaano nsamba nantabukira naye nkaaba amaziga mayitirivu. Omala okukaaba amaziga ne mugamba kyekiganya okusoma njagala osome. Tugenda okuwulira nsamba atandise okunywa enjaga, nsamba atandise okunywa omwenge, nsamba atandise okunywa amayirungi. Bwe njogera ayimirira, bwe njogera mboggolera bwe njogera nkambuwalira
senga wange nkuzizza muddamu nga bwe njagala mubogolera njogera naye nga muto munnange siwa abantu bakulu bakukyalo kitiibwa abankuzizza naye am a changed person today. Oluvannyuma lw'okusomesebwako mu training nayiga nti omuntu olina okwagala Munnayuganda munno era byenjagala bavubuka bannanga b'okukyalo bakole ebyo byenjizeeyo twebuulirire bave mu ebyo ebikolobero ebikyamu ebikolwa ebikyamu tulabe nga tudda mu kkuba eggolokofu.
Bwe yakyuka n'ebintu bye yali akola kunywanjaga kukuba abantu era yakyuka kati omuntu mutegeevu kyola asobola n'okugenda mu miitingi ezimu n'ayogera nga nze.
Kati adda awaka n'ambuuza nti sibyotya ssenga, n'akwata essuwaani n'anjolezaako, n'akwata engoye n'anjolezaako, n'akwata omwana we n'amulera, n'akwata abantu be yali avuma n'olaba nga abateekamu ekitiibwa bamaama bataata bajjajja bassenga, n'abeera awo ng'abaagala n'atuulako n'abantu obudde n'olaba nga mwana mulungamu kati. Era nkyebaza nnyo kubanga sijja kwebaza obaani obaani, nebaza omwami oyo. Omwami oyo yabayita mu musomo gwe nsinga okwebaza era gwe nsinga okutendereza.
Omwana Andrew yakyuka nnyo mu mbeera ze. Omwana yali tagambwako, tayagala kumanya, beeyita babwayigayi, beefuula banyugunya, beefuula buli kimu kye balabye. Naye nebaza nnyo abantu bonna bonna basobodde okuyamba omwana oyo, naddala abamutwala mu musomo ogwo gwa Patriotism. Era mu butuufu ekitundu kyaffe kyandibadde kiyambibwa singa tufunayo abantu abalala be basomesezza ne bajja ne basomesa abaana ng'abo. Oba oliawo ekitundu kyaffe n'eggwanga byandifunyemu nnyo. Naye nga abaana bano bangi nnyo muno, tebalina kumanya, teri abatuukirira. Nemmwe aba Patriotism mwayamba nnyo 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 okulaba nga mutujjiddemu abamu abagenda okufuuka ekyokulabirako, kubanga kati batransforminga nnyo 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 mu mbeera. So ekibiina kya Patriotism kino kikomewo wansi wano kiyambe
bano ba foreign soldiers baffe abali abakabye ennyo omwana, naye ebyabatwala byonna muli nnyolwa nti singa babadde bakyaliwo n'alifunye omukisa ogubagamba ebigambo bino byenzija eri mu misomo gye mbadde ekaazi mu Patriotism abatugendako eno eringa olofemu yaffe nga ffe banageto. Ono bamuyita Lwasa, yali muganda waffe omulungi ennyo nga tayagala kumanya naye nga alina ekisa ng'akola ebirungi bingi, naye yatugendako. Yali bodyguard wa Kamiliyoni. Ono AK-47 ate ono ye oba mwogereko ki, kubanga olaba omukulembeze era yatuwa kololo gye agenda era twaliyo bamuyita Moze Radio nga omulaba.
Bannaye tuli basanyufu nnyo 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 olw'abannaffe aba Patriotism kubanga batukwatiddeko ne bajjira ddala eno ku ground gye tusibuka. Obamu ku ffe tetwafuna mukisa gusobola kugenda naye ate baganda baffe abasobola ogenda tukiikirira era nga kyemmanyi ogunaba guzza omulundi oguddako tugenda beera basaale naffe tetujja kwesuya gwa naggamba, tujja situkirawo tugende mu musomo ogwo kuba muganda waffe natulaze challenge y'amaanyi okuva lwe yagenda eyo. Yakyusa mu mbeera ze, si ye muntu oli gwe twayitangako ng'osobola omusanga n'akacupa kawala gino mugamba mpanyweko mayirungi alwanye na mukyala we olutatadde. N'okuva lwe yavudde eyo simanyi kyamaanyi kye mwamuwadde naye endowooza ezo ze mwamuwadde n'akyusa ebirowoozo. Bannaye naffe atufudde abaakabi tumwenyumirizaamu muganda waffe.
Let's give hope. Let's give some more.
One love.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode, but I want to thank the different participants in this conversation. First, you, the viewer, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Every Thursday, you've been an ardent viewer wherever we started today. You've been very patient with us. You've been loyal, and I want to thank you for that. In the same way, I want to thank the Office of the Presidency for, using the meager salaries and resources available to make this conversation a reality. Not only that, I want to thank the different leaders of communities where you've allowed us and given us the latitude to come in your spaces and talk to your citizens, and we see how far, deep this conversation goes. To the families that have allowed us to come to your homes, that is something remarkable and very profoundly passionate to our hearts and the entire crew. And I want to thank the Secretariat of Patriotism Corps. We can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for the support. But as we compile and finalize this conversation of this episode, I want to request you, my dear countryman, be loyal to your country. Keep this conversation going online. Conversation about patriotism, they don't end because the conversation has ended here today. This is a daily conversation we should have right from our households to our village, to our parish, to our sub-county, and to the national level. So be that one Ugandan who ignites the conversation about patriotism. Do you love your country? Do you serve your country? Are you proud of your country? Before you demand whatever you want to demand from your country, what are you doing for your country? Keep this conversation going. I'm Andrew Chamaga. Until next time, I want to remind you one thing. Above all that you do, your country comes first. See you next time.